Welcome to qnawire.
So I'm not quite sure what is meant by changing it to a more usable form, but first I would start by sketching the vertical asymptote because you can't divide by 0. If x is positive 2, you'd be dividing by 0. So the first thing I do is sketch that vertical line through x equals 2, and then figure out some asymptotes, or excuse me, intercepts. So for instance, you'll have um, an x-intercept when the function is equal to 0. So that's really when the numerator is 0. So if you add 1 to both sides, x equals -1 is an x-intercept. A y-intercept is when x is 0, and so you'd have -0 minus 1, which is -1 over -2, which is 1/2. From here, it can be good to also recognize a horizontal asymptote. Since the degrees are the same in both the numerator and denominator, you just reduce the leading coefficients to be -1 over 1 or -1. So y equals -1 is a horizontal asymptote. And so that just creates some boundaries for you. You don't want to go over those lines. And then a couple other points, like if you put 1 in for x, you'd have -1 minus 1, which is -2, over 1 minus 2, which is -1. So -2 over -1 is +2. And then we can check, like, when x is 3, you'll have -3 minus 1 over 3 minus 2, which is -4 over 1, which is -4. So 3, -4. I'm just estimating where that is here. And when x is 4, then be -4 minus 1 over 4 minus 2, or -5 over 2, or -2.5. When x is 5, you'd get -5 minus 1 over 5 minus 2, or -6 over 3, which is -2. Enough to get an idea of the behavior.